Now let's move to the another topic, software development lifecycle. Now, last week we had discussed about software testing lifecycle, right? So software testing lifecycle is about all the activities that we are conducting during the testings, during the software testing, that is a part of software testing lifecycle. Similarly, software development lifecycle means the various activities which are undertaken while developing a software, right? Now in the interview they might ask you, what do you mean by classic life cycle model, or what do you mean by linear sequential model? So these things are one and the same. They might ask you in a different manner, but don't get confused, it is same as and simple as software development lifecycle. Okay, so software development lifecycle is nothing but it is actually a part of the overall product lifecycle. Let's say if some product is getting developed, right? So how software development would happen, what all activities are being conducted, what are activities are being taken care, those all things are being told as software development lifecycle. Now, these are the various phases that you will see in the SDLC, system engineering and modeling. So first of all, this is the first phase, right? I'll tell you the details also. Then comes software requirement analysis, then system analysis and design, then comes coding, then testing, and then development and maintenance. So let us first start with the system engineering and modeling. So these are just the same points that I showed you in the previous slide. Mm. So system engineering and modeling means what happens, like the a particular customer visit is happening in this phase. So this is the first phase of this life cycle, right? So what are the requirements of the project? What are the main features that are going to be, proposed in the application, right? So these all things are taken care in this phase. A proper development team is there who will visit the customer. Let's say if I am creating a software for IDFC Bank, so my development team will visit the IDFC Bank. They will discuss with the IT team of the IDFC Bank, like what are all the requirements you have. If something is not working, then which kind of software requirement is there from their side. Let's say if they are telling that, for example, if they need some accounting kind of a software that basically calculates all the details and captures all the details and the bank's accounts details of all the customers getting that are creating their accounts in the IDFC Bank every day. Okay, they need such kind of a software. So they will tell us the requirements. So based on that, the development team will create a specification document, right? Now this specification document plays a major role over here, because going forward, when you are developing the software, based on this document itself, it would the development of the software would happen, right? So that is why the specification document is very important, because based on this document, the the customer and the development team have come to certain agreement that okay, so and so features are to be developed in a particular software. Okay, next phase is software requirement analysis. So whenever, even if someone tells you software requirement analysis, or you are explaining this phase in your interview, just keep one question in your mind: what do we want? Okay, so this particular question is being answered into the software requirement analysis phase. Okay, so in this particular phase, what happens is team will determine the cost and the resources required for implementing these requirements. Let's say the cost is coming around some XYZ dollars, and we need two developers, and let's say a couple of software testing person and one support person also in this project. So these are all things that would be analyzed. Along with that, the team will also determine the feasibility of the project, right? Let's say if they are okay with this development, but there is going to be some bigger challenges that are going to come. So those all risk calculating factors would be evaluated, and they need to come up with the implementation in such a way that they have to keep the risk in a minimal manner. lower order, because if the risk is high, then certainly they are not they are not giving a proper justice to the feasibility. They have to implement the project in such a way that the risk should be minimal, because these are the these are the primary phases. Let's say if something is not working in this phase, so it can be sorted out. But if some things are not working in the later phase, then you cannot come back and correct to the customer, okay, sorry, we have developed this thing, you were asking for ABC thing, but we developed XYZ thing, so now can you please purchase it. So customer will never accept, the clients will never accept such things. So it is very much important that you implement, that you think about the feasibility of the project in such a way that the risk is minimal. Okay. Then comes system analysis and design. So in this, how we will we get what we want. Okay, so design is taken care. Let's say if some technology like client server technology, or if it is going to be a web application, or is it going to be a desktop based application, right? Then how many number of tiers are required for this package architecture? Are we going for a SQL database? Are we going for Oracle database, right? So these are all the questions that are related, that are pertaining to the design, software design, and those all things are being taken care over here, right? So all the stakeholders will review this plan, and they will offer their feedback and suggestions. This is a very, very critical phase into the SDLC, because this is the core phase of the SDLC. And whatever the decisions are being taken care over here, whatever the decisions, whatever the answers are being put up to the questions, if those questions come up again in the future, then ultimately the cost of the project will be impacted, right? So let's say, for example, they conclude that the database thing that they have to use in this software is SQL and it is not Oracle. And let's say they start the development, they do the development, they do the testing. Now at the time of testing, while doing performance testing, they came to know, no, boss, there are many users that are being when we are using more users with the software, then the software is getting break, and ultimately there is some limit of 21,000 users, for example, and we are using SQL. So let us go and use Oracle, right? Into the testing phase, when you will come to know, let's say. So you can see the flow over here. See, first is system engineering and modeling, then comes requirement analysis, then comes design. We are talking about this phase right now. And let's say they have come to a conclusion to use SQL in this phase. Now during testing, they find the bug, and they come to the conclusion of and they are getting the bug which has some which has occurred due to the limitation of SQL database. So now they are telling, no, let us go back and use Oracle database. So it would be very difficult, and it would impact the cost for sure, and it is not at all acceptable. So whatever the decisions are being taken during the design phase, it has to be taken, it should be taken during system analysis and design phase only. So these are very key decisions. That is why system analysis and design is the core phase of this SDLC. Then comes coding, as you all know, the development would be taken place in that. It might be a Java based technology that might be used, or .NET based coding would be done. And then comes testing involves both verification as well as validation, right? So you might be doing black box testing, or you might be into the white box testing. See, so we have to verify the code that it meets the defined requirements. Okay, let's say a customer told that they need to have a software which tracks daily how many person created accounts and what are all the business transactions happening in their account. So we have to verify the code accordingly, that okay, is the piece of code that is developed working accordingly, is it giving the proper results, or is it having some of the defects or some of the issues. Then last phase comes development and maintenance. Okay, so development and maintenance is more of now this product was in the engineering till now, it was being developed, it was being tested, there were some features that were not working, so they were fixed and they were again retested. Now development and maintenance phase means the the software will be rolled out to the customer. Okay, so whenever if they are getting some issues, then support team needs to be there to solve the issues, and the project will go into the maintenance. Let's say if out of 10, 9 things are working, now they need 10 thing to be working, and they need 11 thing as an enhancement. Some new feature has to be added into the software. So this is a part of development and maintenance phase. Let's say you are done with the project making, with you are done with the software development of the product. Now they just need one minor enhancement, so it would be added into the next release, right? So this is how this development and maintenance is taking care.